Welcome to the Job Fair, where we give job seekers and employers the space to tell their own stories and bring our listeners along for the ride. We're your hosts, Doug and Shauna. Let's dive into it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Job Fair Podcast, episode 7.
7 is that lucky number, right?
Yeah,
remember that movie from the 90s, 7?
I think 7 is lucky for some, and then 8s are lucky for Chinese culture.
Okay. Either way, here we are, episode 7. What up, Shauna?
Hey, Doug. Just to close that out, episode 8, we're excited about lucky number 8. Anyways, Doug, I'm doing good. How you doing this 2025?
Ooh, off to the races, but I'm happy to be here. I'm feeling good. New year, new me, as they say.
Okay. Do we make resolutions on that side?
Yeah, maybe not. I think I'm just staying out of the gym right now. The gym is a Taylor Swift concert right now. But anywho, here we are, folks. Thank you for continuing to rock with us and not making us a New Year's resolution that you left us behind with. So we're back with today's show topic. We're starting off the year with a 2025 job market outlook.
Yeah. We'll see how we do with this outlook and then what happens at the end of 2025. But before we get into that topic, Doug, agree to disagree. Here it comes at ya.
All right. Music videos still matter.
Oh, when's the last time I watched? I do watch music videos. MTV, I guess that's still a thing.
MTV still in business?
I was just going to say, they still have an awards on the VMAs. So do they still matter? I'm going to go with a yes, because I do think that storytelling, that people connect video to a song, is still powerful. So I think they still matter to really move the music if you're trying to sell a new album or tour.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I'm sorry. As an ex-music industry guy and grew up on these videos, I'm sorry, I got to disagree because they barely matter. Let's be real about this.
You think they have no move? You don't think they push anything? You don't think that storytelling, that connection to the visual and the music?
I think that like the distribution, it needs to change. It needs to get in tune with the times. Number one, they should be extremely short form. It should be even shorter than the song's length, in my opinion. Number one.
No, people have made them long form because they're making movies, short movies out of them.
Maybe that works, but like, how much impact has that had in regaining the mass adoption? Sometimes with a really big song, it can be a spectacle, and Kendrick Lamar dropped the Not Like Us video. That was one of his big songs of 2020. Yeah, there's exceptions, but generally they don't matter. And I think that my question is, why at this point can't you listen to a song on your Spotify or Apple Music and be seeing the video? That needs to happen now. If somebody has shot a video and invested, you should be able to see it as you're listening to the song on one of these streaming platforms. I don't think that's the case right now. So I disagree with this statement.
Okay. I guess my take, as I've been talking through this conversation, I say they do have marginal matter. A little bit. I think they do matter in a small, very small margin. But you mentioned video on Spotify. You're right. You don't see full music video. You do see video, though, of some sort when the song plays. It could be a short loop, but yeah, you don't see a whole video. All right. Okay. Off of music, off of MTV. Next one. More people would choose gig work, hustle work, side work over traditional employment in 2025.
Strongly disagree. Absolutely not. Gig workers were making more money than traditional people with 9-to-5s at one point. But I think that now in this era of with the hyperinflation and just the cost of living in most places, I think that they're being more real about the fact that it is supplemental income at best. So I strongly disagree.
Interesting. My initial take here.
Wait, and let me caveat what I just said. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was so brashly only thinking about Uber and DoorDashers. When you say gig work, you mean like freelance work.
Freelance, side hustles.
Contract. Okay, so then I have to restate my answer or rethink my answer. No, it's still, I disagree with this. Just maybe not strongly. I disagree with this because people need stability these days with things being the way they are. Yeah.
Okay, so I think when I originally see this question, I actually agree that more people would choose gig work over traditional employment in 2025 from a happiness standpoint, that more people would choose that. I also would say that gig work has become a sector of what people see as traditional employment now. What do you consider influencers? Is that gig work? Or is it now traditional work for them? Because that is now their full time, all day job. Or are you just saying behind a desk, 8 to 5?
No,
I guess I'm saying, since I'm asking the question.
influencers and content creators, for the most part, is nowhere near their full-time work unless they are already rich from something else. They're manifesting that, but that is not
Well,
the
so
truth.
you're thinking of just in general, you're in general of influencers, not the highly successful influencers
Yeah,
who.
that's what I'm talking
Okay,
about. Yeah.
okay. I'm still going to go with I agree. I think people will choose gig work over traditional employment in 2025 from a happiness standpoint. If the money can meet where they need it, and for some it does. I think that flexibility, again, we started to see it in 2024. I think it will continue in 2025. Again, I want to call out, I think I'm looking at it from the bubble that I exist in. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country, but from where I am in my ether, I think I would agree with this statement.
You got it. And maybe it's in the future, but in 2025, I don't think it's there yet where it's feasible for most people to choose that over traditional. All right, cool. All right. Potluck style meals are better than a single person doing all the cooking.
When I love hosting, and when I host, I am a single person cooking it. I'm not into potluck style meals because and this is again, just me, but I like my meal or event to have cohesiveness, to have things that match. And so I think part of that is having the quote unquote ability to control that for the environment. Also, have you seen some of these videos where people have said when you do a potluck, there's jokes about a cat licking the cupcakes, or you don't know what happens at other people's houses when they're bringing over food. However, again, bringing in financials into this, it is obviously more financially easier to be a host and have a potluck style, not having to plan everything, not having to pay for everything. If y'all want to, you don't want to come up empty handed, I get that. Let's just donate $5 to $10 to the pot. And that'd be great for me.
Yep. I'm unlike you. I'm not going to beat around the bush for a minute and 5 seconds on this. It's about health code standards. And for that reason, I will only agree with this statement if it's close friends and family and people where I know that their health standards are on par with mine as far as cleanliness and things like that. I trust your kitchen kind of thing. I have to put an asterisk. I like the idea more though. It's more diversity. One person doing all the cooking, they get burnt out. They may not put as much love into the mac and cheese as they did into the turkey. But yeah, we got to have trust.
All right, let's round it out. So, Mr. Sustainability guy, sustainability will influence personal purchasing decisions more than brand loyalty in 2025.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because have you seen the price on those organic eggs?
Yes, Miss California has seen that. Yes. At $10,
like,
$10 to $12
have you
a carton.
seen the price on that Patagonia vest versus that Walmart one? People are not flush with cash right now. It's inflation. So I disagree. I hope that it changes, but I disagree right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I disagree with this statement that sustainability will influence personal purchases. I don't think that's true in 2025. I still think that there's so many factors that go into that. I think people want to consider more sustainable products, but brand loyalty price comes into it. You like what you like sometimes, and some people aren't willing to give on that just for sustainable reasons, and that's their choice.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to add, because I'm a green guy, is that the system is broken. The supply chain for producing goods more sustainably is currently broken. It's very expensive to do that, which is why the costs are so much higher. And I'm an advocate. I'm being the change I want to see in the world, that we got to do something about that. Shameless plug.
Really quick though, I was thinking about this the other day, but it's because in the US it's a business. When you go to other countries, there is not organic or certain things like that. There's a lot more regulations in different countries,
Mhm.
but in the US it's a business. And so that part of selling it to be organic or part of selling it to be sustainable is all part of a business marketing ploy. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these things that are banned in the EU are allowed here. These dyes, these artificial this, that, additives. Yeah, it's the system is broken. But yeah, we shall see. A
Yeah.
lot of people are working to make changes. So
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Oof.
That was a good one. You need a shot of whiskey, or shall we get back to the show?
All right. Last episode 6, we talked a little bit about 2024. We did our look back. And with the end of that wild 2024, let's look ahead to the new year, 2025. Let's share our predictions for where that job market is headed.
Mhm. Of course, as we did last year in 2024, this is an ongoing conversation. This is the meat and potatoes of the job fair. Shauna and I sit down here. We share our insights with you. We give you the latest takes on big trends, happenings in the market, et cetera, et cetera. Today, we're going to make some bold predictions on the trends we believe will define the workplace and the job market over this next year. All right. Spoiler alert. 2025 just might be the year of the worker. But you ain't hear from me. All right. Here are our big 4 predictions for 2025. Number 1, remote work pullback will stabilize. Number 2, hybrid AI roles will grow. 3, a pullback in employee rights and regulation will take place. And 4, the green job, aka the sustainability economy, will explode.
I feel like it really flows well from our 2024 look back. That first one, remote work, pullback, stabilizing. Where's the magic 8 ball? Companies will begin embracing hybrid work arrangements, but maybe with a little bit of a twist. Maybe roles will be redesigned for that flexibility and collaboration. I hope so. I think that's a great move forward. Remote work expectation norms evolve. Employers will demand higher levels of accountability, which I think is also important, and they put more pressure on employees need to be great communicators and self-managers of their own time and workload.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think that it's not remote work is no longer this like free lunch as it was during COVID. You got to earn that lunch more. But if you're competent and you're good at what you do, there will be plenty of opportunities for you. Remote work is not going to be as weaponized as it became in 2024, I feel, with people just saying, hey, get back in the office. But yeah, I think there'll be a happy medium that we'll see. I think towards the end of 2025, there'll be some of these reserved spaces for folks that know how to do it well. And then everyone else will either be in the office or it'll be a hybrid. I think the hybrid is what's going to really take the cake as far as the norm.
Yeah, I agree. And let's segue that into our next one. So hybrid AI roles growing.
Different
I
kind of
think
hybrid there.
we'll see a rise in jobs that blend traditional skills with the AI tools. AI's mainstream use case expands beyond just being a tool for coders or tech startups, but thinking marketing specialists who are also fluent in data analytics or HR professionals leveraging AI for recruitment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. This one I'm particularly happy about. I need to get more hybrid AI swag under my belt personally. This is just awesome to see. Again, AI not being seen as and embraced as like this boogeyman, and more so being leveraged as a tool to really add a lot of value to something you may already be good at. I like that with all these different tools and bots and market products that are rolling out for use cases in pretty much every industry. I love that we're seeing folks really just add that as a skill and something in their toolbox that they can just do their job a lot better than they could have without it. So yeah, hybrid AI, I'm all for it. Shauna, I know you work in AI, I think. I don't know, can you maybe train me, or do you have office hours or?
For you, Doug, always.
Cool. All right. Next one is the pullback in employee rights regulation. We all know Trump is back in office following a really dynamic victory that happened a few months ago. And we're awaiting some things to actually go into effect. But he has, throughout his whole campaign trail, expressed a lot of support for deregulation at the federal level of employee rights. And he has expressed a lot of support for being very pro business economic policy. He's for the big companies, and he has expressed a lot of support for eliminating taxes on employee wages. He wants to really essentially lead with letting employees and employers play ball with less of government interference, make the market more free. A lot of people feel that those protections that employees had for many years are really important to prevent an imbalance of power between the employers and employees. A few examples of things that are rumored that Trump has up his sleeve: a slowdown in new U.S. OSHA, that's the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, a slowdown in OSHA rules, meaning that workplace inspections and regulations around safety could be less closely managed, which could be bad news for employees who work in, say, construction and those kinds of fields. And then we also could see a lot of reduction in employer rights as far as retaliation with litigation against different agencies and authorities. I fully believe that once Trump is in office, we're going to see at least some portion of this really shift in dynamic of the government really being there for giving the employers and unions a backbone and leg to stand on against unfair treatment. We're going to see that kind of go away to some extent.
Do you feel like HR departments right now are like, oh, how do you think they're feeling?
I think that if I worked in HR, I would probably feel empowered. And whether your intentions or your company's intentions are good or bad, that's probably out of your control. But if you are a company who has strong ethics and you want to treat employees fairly, you're just going to stand on your own legs. That's pretty much what it means.
Right.
Or if not, you can exploit people and treat people unfairly and things like that. So yeah, it's to be seen.
Yeah, I think this topic is to be determined because it can go both ways, and it's scary. It makes me nervous, but I don't know how this is going to turn out for 2025, to be honest. I know it's a bet of ours, but I don't know.
We don't know to what extent.
Yeah.
Administration. Sure. You know what I mean? This really, some of this stuff could be deregulated, but companies, again, like they could still choose to do right. Who knows? Anything's possible.
That's the hope that we always give large companies, and those are the companies we want to work for.
Exactly. Yeah. There's some good people in this world.
What does that mean for smaller companies and small, like SMBs?
I think it means similar. I think that smaller companies just have fewer resources. So they're going to lean more into protecting themselves, I would think, against being sued, or they're just going to probably be more careful in the way that they deal with employees and maybe make more front-end investments to protect themselves is what I'd assume, without me being an expert, though, really. Yeah. Cool. All right. And now that green economy, the green jobs of the world, we look for that area to really ramp up and grow in 2025. Now, more than ever, we are seeing left, front, and center these impacts of climate change. We're seeing insurance companies leaving certain states altogether due to just high risk of flooding, hurricanes, wildfires. This is really, you can't escape what climate change is doing to different parts of our country. And for better or for worse, that's creating jobs. Quick stat, almost 50% of Fortune 500 companies currently have net zero targets or sustainability or climate goals. That is up. That's up from just 8% in 2020, just 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I think that's a telltale sign of the amount of investment. And these are huge companies that are building out ESG teams, sustainability teams, decarbonization initiatives, and that all equals job creation. So that's job growth as well. So yeah, all in all, I believe that this green economy is going to really take off in 2025. I know you live in Tesla land over there.
I do, but
Waymo land.
I'm just not very well versed in this as much as you are. And listening to you talk and naming off your stats, I'm like, oh man, I need to have more open conversation with Doug so I can learn more about this space. I just don't know it that well. But I do think that companies are under pressure to implement these strategies. The first thing that came to mind, which you did touch upon, is if you don't have public funding, does that mean that less companies will actually draw back a little bit more? But to your point, you still think that it'll explode.
Y'all heard Shauna. Hire that man. All right. Make him the head of your sustainability team. I'm your guy. But nah, I think it's something that definitely hits home for you, especially Shauna, in California, seeing those wildfires. It's very scary. And I think that even if you know nothing about what the economy behind it looks like to mitigate those kind of things happening, I think it's just like most people can put two and two together and know that we need more efforts to reduce what's happening right now. All right, listeners, we asked you, what did we miss? What was on or what is on your bingo board for 2025? We gave you all a big four, but yeah, we'd love to hear more. Shoot us a line, DM, slide in our DMs. Let us know what you're thinking. What do you see in this job market doing in 2025?
Yeah, Trump is officially in office now, so I think we are just starting to see any sort of ripple effect on the market. And there could be so many different things that we just don't see, and it's all speculation for now. But it started. We're off to the races with Trump and 2025, so we'll see where we land at the end of this year. So drop us a line, though. Let us know what you're thinking.
Absolutely. All right, and as always, check out our website at The Job Fair. That's FARE.com. You can connect with us in many ways there. You can apply to be on the show if you're a job seeker or employer looking to join us on set and tell your story. You can suggest or request show topics, or you can also refer guests as well. We're also at The Job Fair on all socials. We're having a lot of fun on there these days. Check us out. Stay tapped in, like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to keep a lookout for episode 8 coming up next week.
Episode 8, as we said, that's our lucky number 8 we're going to go with. But yeah, thanks for joining episode 7. Welcome to 2025.
Right. That's a wrap. Happy New Year, everyone. Peace.
Bye.